This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some major updates to share with you. I'll give you the latest forecast of what's going on with the Social Security increase and how President Biden wants to give 5% more to certain retirees on Social Security. I'll give you all that, plus the problems with the Social Security increase. We'll talk about the $300 stimulus checks that are going out to certain Americans, and I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a more than mundane Monday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you like these daily updates, giving you the latest information, showing you the facts and the news sources of where it comes from. So let's get into it. Food prices are soaring, and that's changed how we eat. So yeah, it's crazy. The other day, I just usually get the same stuff, some things that my kids like, and if I'm distracted by my kids, I don't really look at the prices when I'm getting it. I just know that they like it, like certain yogurts and stuff. And I remember looking at the bill, and I'm like, wow, I don't remember it being this much more, an extra $2 here, $3 there. It's crazy how it's all adding up. Over the past year, food prices have spiked 11.4% over the past year, and grocery prices jumped 13.5%, and restaurant menu prices increased 8% in that period. This is really expensive. There's a lot of money that could be used for other things, and instead it's just eating away. But there might be some type of solution. I'm really curious what you think about this. So, Mexico president reaches agreement with companies to maintain basic food prices. So, basically, what's happening here in Mexico is there are 20 companies that the Mexican president made a deal with, keeping 24 different food items the same exact price, so they won't go up. Despite inflation and all that, the food prices for these 24 items, very common items, are going to be the same. Is that a good idea? Should the US government do the same thing to keep eggs at a certain price, milk at a certain price, and basically the government is subsidizing those food companies or suppliers or whatever, but for the consumer, the prices are the same? Is that a good idea? Let me know your thoughts on whether or not that's a good idea or not. Let's get into Social Security. So Social Security increase 2023. Here's the latest forecast as inflation eases. Excuse me. So the CPI, Consumer Price Index, which measures inflation, rose 8.3% in August. This is a decrease from 8.5% in July and is the second month in a row where the annual inflation rate decreased. So yeah, according to the most recent CPI, the Social Security cost of living COLA could reach 8.7% for 2023 instead of the previously forecasted 9.6%, according to the Senior Citizens League. So while the increase is less than previously predicted, if the COLA boost remains the same, when the COLA for 2023 is announced in October, I think it's October 13th, it will still be the highest increase since the 1980s when the COLA was 11.2%. So those are the latest numbers so far, and that could happen. And then according to this article, some retirees could get a 5% raise in the future if President Biden has his way. So yeah, depending on how things go, it could be an additional 5%. Some retirees could get an additional 5% raise. The SSA is scheduled to make the big announcement in mid-October. So yeah, we're going to see what happens there. Americans can boost the amount of their monthly Social Security checks by holding off until their full retirement age or until age 70 to start receiving benefits, but that doesn't really help you if you're already getting it. So yeah, we could see a much bigger boost. And yeah, retirees expect a massive Social Security raise in 2023 and a higher tax bill. So yeah, with a higher raise comes other expenses as well, which brings us to the problem. Here's the single biggest problem with your upcoming Social Security increase. Social Security COLAs come too late to meet retirees' immediate challenges resulting from inflation. That's the truth. So the increase for 2022 was 5.9%, but inflation went all the way up to almost 9%. Or over 9%. It depends on what you're buying too. But yeah, that doesn't really help out. It should have some type of adjustment, maybe on a monthly basis, if inflation is much higher than the COLA rate. Because what about all the people who are suffering, living on fixed income? The annual increases are also arguably too low to prevent the erosion of purchase power, and there's one bright spot for retirees, though, related to Medicare B premiums. So yeah, there are some issues when it comes to this. I still think that there needs to be some reform to Social Security, expansion, need to help a lot more people, not just retirees, but I think there should be something for SSDI, SSI, and veterans, and a lot of other groups that could benefit from these type of increases and payouts and things like that. Let me know if you agree with that. Then when it comes to stimulus checks, so cash assistance, exact date to claim direct payments of $300 by as thousands of Americans to start getting them processed by this week. So yeah, this is going out in Ohio. The payments come as a result of the Idaho state legislature, which passed a bill earlier this month to devote $500 million in tax rebates. Tax rebates also a type of stimulus check. So along with the rebate, there will be 5.8% flat tax rate implemented for individuals and corporations. That's down from 6%. And as far as rebates go, the Idaho State Tax Commission said it will begin processing $300 payments in late September. The last day of this month is on Friday, September 30th. So probably by then, we'll see if you live in Idaho and you're eligible for this, then yeah, $300 checks going out there for individuals and $600 for couples. And when it comes to inflation and what is happening next, unfortunately, Democrats not really talking about that too much. Any Democrat interviews aren't really talking about inflation, what can be done about it. It's only the Republicans who are talking about it. Not sure if that's part of the midterm strategy, but take a look at the Republican perspective on inflation right here.
Let's go to Senator Mike Braun on this. The Indiana Republican sits on the Senate Budget Committee. Senator, this is yet another example of inflation running far, far above the rate and the advertised rate we see. Eggs running at 10 times the 8.5% clip we're seeing nationally. Virtually all food items are. So this after all these rate hikes that have yet to sort of dampen that. What do you make of it?
Well, I hearken back to when I first got started, Neil. Interest rates were 10% at a bargain rate. Paul Volcker had to take them up to 20%. And it took 5 years to tamp inflation back down to 2% from 81 to 86. So when you unleash this and you do it as part of being political enterprisers, I've been here a little under 4 years. 18 trillion in debt when I got here, 30 now, and look at all of the spending we did on top of what probably wasn't needed, the $4 trillion through the CARES Act. You should have been cautious. They know fiscal policy, and then the Fed accommodated to boot, and then I want to contrast it to the way it was pre-COVID. The best economy I had been a part of with no inflation, interest rates low, wages going up, and less regulation. We need to simply try to get back to that. It's been unleashed. How you get back down took 5 years the last time it occurred.
Be that as it may, of course, the debt was going up under Donald Trump as well. You're quite right to point out, Senator, that it accelerated with COVID. I'm just wondering, though, how you get out of this right now, because to your point, the higher interest rates are adding to the cost of that debt, right? $150 billion as a result of rates going up without anything being added to the debt. So I'm wondering how bad this gets, and if the Fed's the only game in town, how high rates go.
1% on 30 trillion is 300 billion, and then you start getting a few of them, you're all of a sudden spending as much on interest as you are in domestic spending or defense. Here's how you get back to it, Neil. Yes, it's been an equal opportunity endeavor, putting 2 wars on the credit card. Obama said, well, if you're going to do that, we're going to double down, and it's been a frenzy ever since. And I agree, both sides. I put a balanced budget out there recently. Every Democrat voted against it, and then a few Republicans to boot. We got to start doing budgeting. Haven't done one in 20 years. We've adhered to regular order through committees, appropriating to where we have discussions how to do it. Last time we did that, it was 4 months after the fiscal year, and both sides agreed to raising government spending by 6.2%. That's a bad business plan, and it's not the way to do it. Discipline, little backbone, run it more like a business than feeding out of a trough.
There's a concept. Senator, thank you very much. We'll see what happens. I'm Mike Braun of Indiana on all of that.
And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, it's Bella tip of the day. I want to tell you the one thing that you should do. Do the things that scare you the most, because after you do that, you become a better person. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. So yeah, today, only thing we have is Bella's swim lessons coming up very soon for the afternoon. And yeah, gonna do that and hang out with the fam. My wife is working a 24-hour shift today, so it's just me and the girls. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day. If you want to check out any of my other videos on my other channels, click right up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.